Hey guys, it's Saffron, co-host and producer of It's Giving Camp. By joining our Patreon now, you immediately get access to a backlog of 47 extended versions of episodes, the majority of which are video episodes. And we have 3 Patreon exclusive bonus episodes. We'll also include you in the credits of our upcoming episodes. We try to make our prices as reasonable as possible. Again, this is for only $2 a month. For $5 a month, you get access to a monthly movie live stream. That's cheaper than most movie tickets, and you get to join from the comfort of your own home. You can watch camp classics alongside Fabiola and I as we share our opinions and fun facts about the movies. Our highest tier is only $7 a month. And with that, you'll get personalized media recommendations. If you stay an early supporter, you will get early access to all upcoming episodes, extended versions of all of these upcoming episodes, as well as any new bonus content we make, and we're working on some episodes. If you are already a supporter of our show, even just listening to an episode really does help. We really appreciate all of your support. Like I've said before, I will keep doing this show as long as there are movies to discuss. I love talking to my best friend, and I really appreciate anyone who listens.
I feel like we've maybe done more television episodes of television that you have seen all the way through than I've seen all the way through.
Yeah, I think the only other one was Glee.
Yeah.
Because I think the rest we've both watched, and there was also Buffy, which you have watched all the way through.
Yeah.
But Buffy's definitely more like episodic.
Yeah, that was the thing, is that I was like, if my experience of watching episodes of the TV show we're covering this episode of the podcast was, it was reminding me most of being in school and being like, okay, there's a lot of like jumps in time and trying to figure out like, it felt very much more like, okay, I'm going to be watching this to analyze like stuff for symbolism and like themes rather than like specific characters, because I'm like, I kind of don't really know what's going on with character arcs, only watching 4 episodes of a very much a serialized show. But and I was trying to remember if that was the case, if you experienced any of that in Buffy, or if I did I was hopefully, I was like, I hope I did a good job of picking out
Buffy was
episodes of,
pretty easy to keep track of.
yeah, because I think I picked out a couple of the episodes I picked out for us to cover are kind of in some ways like they are relevant to like big arcs. I mean, that's the thing that always, it's like covering once more with feeling for Buffy. It's like, this is an episode that everyone talks about because it's like kind of the musical episode of a TV show, but it also is like an incredibly emotional moment as part of like a character arc that's kind of hard to kind of get the emotions of that without having seen the end of season 5 and start of season 6. But I was like, I feel like a lot of episodes of Buffy, at least in the camp kind of Buffy, was very like, this is kind of a one-off. Things are kind of weird and silly, and also all the characters are very much like archetypes that are kind of easy to figure out. um I'm gonna tell you, you told me, you texted me that I could ask you any questions about the show, and I was like, I kind of want to wait to just ask you for the episode, because I have some questions about what the fuck is going on with some of
Yeah.
the characters in this show.
Also, this show has like wild butterfly effect with me.
Oh, okay. Well, how about you introduce what are we covering today?
We're covering Showtime's The Borgias,
Yeah. Based on
which ran for 3 seasons.
and it's based on a real historical family that I think I've kind of gotten the sense it's hard to tell what actually happened historically because
Yeah,
they were very disliked, and so there's a lot of rumors.
yeah.
I know also friend of the pod, Catherine is a fan of this historical family, because Catherine's also into historical
And
people
also
drama.
of their like main rival.
Yeah. So what is the actual I should have taken a screenshot of the title card. This is 10th century? No, 11th century Rome?
15th.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry.
Also, the exact year that Christopher Columbus, quote unquote, discovered the Americas.
Oh. Okay. Why did I think it was way earlier that makes sense. No, wait, that makes sense because in the episode from the third season we watched, they're like doing crusades. Okay. Speaking of Christopher Columbus, so it's set in Rome, obviously. It's about like the Italians, but this family is Spanish, and everyone's like kind of prejudiced against them because of that. That was a thing. I did
Yeah,
not.
yeah. The Borgias are originally a Spanish family. Like from a couple generations prior to this one, they immigrated
Yeah.
to Italy. Borgia is like the italicized version of their name. Their name is actually Borja.
Oh, okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, isn't Cesare like kind of the guy that the prince is based on?
Yes. And I'm pretty sure Machiavelli did show up in one of the episodes.
Oh, okay. I had subtitles
He's a
on.
supporting character that shows up sometimes. But yeah, Cesare is the prince in question.
Yeah. So tell me a little, who are the main characters? Who what who is the focus of this show specifically? And then we can get into why you're obsessed with them and why you wanted to talk about this show on its given camp.
Yeah, so I think arguably the main character is Cesare.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he has a clearly defined arc throughout the show, and everyone else in the family is supporting slash lead as well, depending on the episode. And his dad, Federico Borgia, aka Alexander the Sixth,
Mm-hmm.
becomes the Pope of Rome in the first episode, and he's played by Jeremy Irons,
Who
very iconic.
Yeah, I think when I've
And
mentioned this show to other people, they're like, is Jeremy Irons in it? So like he's the biggest name associated with it, so I think most
yes,
people think that he's kind of the main character, but I'm with you that I do think it's fair to say that Cesare is the main character because he's kind of doing the most. Like every single episode you had me watch, he's the guy who's like doing stuff. Alexander's kind of
he
just like there in
he very
fancy
famously
robes
just
and
does the
mad.
most.
Yeah.
And then there's Juan, who historically I think there's been like contention of whether or not he's older or younger than Cesare, but in the show he's the younger brother, and he's kind of the quote unquote irresponsible one, but he's also like I am a Juan defender. As much as I love Cesare, I am Juan Nation as well.
Okay.
And a lot of the season 2 Juanisms are actually from the historical Cesare, like the syphilis was Cesare, the failure at Forlì was Cesare.
Okay. I didn't realize he had syphilis. I just, in my notes, I wrote down I wrote down, was it, is his, is it his dick that got injured? Or is he talking to God? In that one scene where he's like, "You've been my friend," like, are you? He's like, has a weird. He's like talking to nobody, and I was like, who is he talking to? Is he talking to his dick or is he talking to God? Do you know what I've seen? I'm referring to in World of Wonders.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Juan is the guy I could not get a good grasp on with the episodes you sent me. What the fuck is this guy's
Yeah.
deal?
Yeah. I'll like get to the rest of the family first before I do the succession
Yeah.
comparisons. That
Oh, okay.
and the other main sibling is Lucrezia, the main girl. Because like even though there's the four main kids, historically there are way more, but these are like the four main ones that got like legitimized and
Yeah.
claimed by the family.
Wait, there's a fourth kid who's.
Geoffrey, who's only in the pilot episode of the episodes that I sent
Oh,
you.
okay.
He's like a season one only character. He kind of disappears when he gets married, and his wife has like an affair with Juan, and historically it was both Juan and Cesare with her, which I feel like
Whoa.
was a missed opportunity for the show.
Yeah. And to clarify, because I feel like this is an important question to ask early on, they are not legitimate children, right? Because he was a
No.
cardinal. He was supposed to be
Yeah.
celibate. Alexander, I
Yeah.
mean, like, or Rodrigo, who becomes Pope Alexander.
Yeah. Yeah, and their mom is Vanozza, who is a courtesan, and she's kind of
Okay.
co-parenting them,
Yeah.
and their kind of stepmother is Julia Farnese, controversially young girlfriend.
Yeah. But this Pope is like, he's having sex even when he's a Pope.
Yeah,
And so I mean that's why this guy was super pretty controversial, right? Was because he like kind of like legitimized his children that shouldn't exist. And
yeah, and also buying the papacy and just yeah, one of the like big reasons why the Borgias stand out historically is that they are kind of like the big symbol for all the pre-Reformation stuff that the Catholic Church was doing.
yeah, there's a great moment that I loved in the pilot where Cesare is using doves to send messages to his father, who's not supposed to be communicating with anyone because it's during the papal election. And he
Yeah,
tells Lucrezia, he's like, symbols are, or doves are a symbol of uncorrupted souls, but they are messengers of corruption,
yeah,
which kind of seems to be the whole deal with these guys, is that they're all supposed to be very pure and godly, except they're not.
yeah. Like they are Catholicism's first family.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they are Catholicism royal family,
Yeah.
and so I feel like onto the succession comparisons, which might clear things up for you. Cesare is the Kendall,
Yeah.
but I like Cesare way more than Kendall.
Yeah.
Lucrezia is the Shiv, and Juan is the Roman,
Yeah.
and Joffrey is the Connor.
Yeah. And here's the thing: the does Cesare ever show guilt over killing people?
No,
Because Kendall does. So that's probably the main difference
yeah,
between the two of them, huh?
I feel like the most because like you didn't see the season two finale, but he is the season two finale is mainly about like finding Juan's body in the
Yeah.
river, and Cesare is like, we need to find the guy who did this, and then he like mainly feels more bad about needing to tell his dad that Juan is dead and I didn't. Yeah, he feels more bad about having to confess to his dad than of the killing itself.
I see. Major spoilers, by the way, for the show. I mean, we always spoil what we're talking about, but
yeah,
this guy's crazy. He kills his own brother.
Yes, and I love him. He's like an underrated anti-hero of television.
So why do you want to discuss the show for this podcast? I mean, I should ask that less bluntly. Because like I can tell that this is like there's got some campiness to this, and I feel like it's not. There's been other shows you've brought where it's like House of the Dragons kind of feels like you have to make the case a little bit more, but I'm curious if there is like explicit, like if there's like not explicit, but there's specific like themes or specific characters, things that you were like, this is why we want to discuss it. Or if this is just a case where it's like, you love this show, so you want to talk about it.
Just entirely being about contradictions and things being what they're not.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like this show touches on a subgenre of exploitation film that we haven't discussed yet, which is nunsploitation.
Yeah!
Because I feel like this is nunsploitation adjacent.
So, you know what's so funny is I literally was talking to our friend Nate about what we were going to be covering for the show. And I was explaining, he was like, okay, wait, what is an exploitation film again? And I was explaining to him what exploitation was. And then he asked me if Pope-sploitation was a thing. And I was like, yeah, I mean, like, the
Borgias. I have a
Borgias.
show for you.
Yeah. Now that I've actually watched the Borgias, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is Pope's-sploitation. It's gotta be.
Yeah, and like one of the sources that I found is this piece from Off Screen called Nunsploitation, The Forgotten Cycle, which is kind of talking about how it's basically geography is very iconic, like Miss 45 and Behind Convent Walls. And so the author of this piece, James Newton, writes, the European nunsploitation film is a minor cycle of exploitation has largely been critically ignored. Letters of a Portuguese nun and Behind Convent Walls use the experience of women thrown together in the hostile and confined space of the convent to explore themes such as religious solitary and sexual and social oppression. Like other European exploitation genres such as spaghetti western, the giallo, or the Euro war movie, the films began to appear in the mid to late 60s and taper out as the 1980s began. And yeah, it is very much a genre that was confined to Europe because of how like thoroughly religious Europe got. Like we briefly touched on this in Blood for Dracula. Yeah, so the mix more permissive in terms of content now that the Hays Code has been lifted, but also the various social revolutions happening at the time. Like it was a very rich area.
Cardinal Alberto Colonna, 2. Cardinal Rodrigo Borgia, 14. Cardinal Borgia has the required majority.
Correction. Cardinal Borgia has bought the required majority.
What is your implication?
His implication is that the throne of St. Peter's is for sale.
And has been bought by a Spaniard up to his elbows in simony.
I see. You would prefer it had been bought by an Italian.
by someone remotely worthy of the papacy, at least?
Then my first act as Pope will be to institute an inquiry into the elective process. My second, of course, will be to appoint a vice-chancellor. The greatest office, with the greatest income, in my gift. Now, there are two obvious choices, Cardinals della Rovere and Orsini. But the Pope could not possibly appoint one who questioned his right to be Pope.
That was not my intention. Nor was it mine.
I see. And the Spanish race is closest to your bosom. Can we proceed?
To conclude, Cardinal Borgia has the required majority.
But yeah, I mean, I think that, like, I was not raised religious at all, not even raised, Catholic or anything.
Me neither.
I understand why nuns and priests and such are eroticized, because, I mean, I think people like they like thinking about something they can never get. And also there is a kind of like, ooh, like how chaste are these people actually? There's sex is so much a part of our life that I think it's very easy to theorize about scandal.
Also, I feel like with the Borgias as characters historically and as basically these historical monuments, they're also very pulpy to me in a way. Like, I was also going through the Milo Manara and Jodorowsky comic about the Borgias, and there's something about the style and just the archetypes of this family that are they just work.
Yeah.
They're literally the inspiration for The Godfather.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
So much of the marketing for season 2 was, this is the original crime family.
Yeah. Also, wait, I just made the connection. Behind Convent Walls, that's
Valerian.
Yeah. He also did Immoral Tales, which I don't know if, have you seen that? That has the segment that
I
is also...
haven't, but I know that there's a Lucrezia section.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's her. If I'm remembering correctly, I also didn't really know who all the characters were supposed to be. I think it's her having sex with Alexander and Cesare. I think it's a
that was one of the historical rumors.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that this was you've been sending me memes and things since the moment you first started watching the show. I knew that there was some incest that was gonna happen.
The show is so fun and so memeable.
I was trying to figure out, though, I couldn't remember who ends up having sex with who. And so that was, I think, the
Cesare
other...
and Lucrezia.
Well, yeah, I figured that out by season 3, but there's vibes. There's vibes in the pilot. I was like, when Lucrezia is spying.
It's funny you say that, because there's an iconic story.
Okay.
Yeah, so in the featurette for episode 3 of season 3, which is the episode previous to the season 3 episode that we watched, is the one where it actually happens.
Yeah.
And in the featurette, Francois, who plays Cesare, and is also in Fuck Toys. Please watch Fuck Toys.
I'm trying.
I'm talking to the viewers. / listeners as well. But basically, in the little featurette for that episode, he talks about how, while filming the pilot, he got into an argument with Neil Jordan, who's the showrunner. He, I think, most famously to us, did the 90s Interview with the Vampire
Yep.
movie.
Yep.
But he got into an argument with Neil Jordan because Neil was directing them to not play into the tension between Cesare and Lucrezia. And so I was like, that's what you wrote.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're like so flirty from the minute you first see them interact. The thing that I was trying to figure out though, and this was also me being like, what the fuck is going on with these characters, is what is going on with Juan? Who does Juan have feelings for? Because I was trying
Oh, this whole thing.
because he's like so weird about Lucrezia, like,
yes,
being in relationships with other men, and he threatens to like kill her kid, and he's always like, this is for the good of the family, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on with Juan? Do I not have context, or is he always this crazy?
I think there's both just missing context from the gap of the season 2 episodes, but you're also really onto something that has been confirmed by David Oakes, who played Juan. And basically, David has gone on record multiple times saying that he played Juan as wanting to be in on the Lucrezia and Cesare relationship.
Okay.
So he's weird about the both of them.
Okay. Yeah. You sent me a lot of memes that said that Juan was gay, and I did not pick up on any of that in the episodes you shared with me.
It's like there's so many times where he makes little comments about Cesare. You're just suspicious.
Also,
also you only like saw a bit of the rivalry, but the rivalry is strong.
Yeah. Does he ever actually see them? Like, because he has some comment one time when he's high where he's like, I think my devilish brother.
He has a sixth sense.
So it's before
he can feel the vibes.
He dies before they actually do anything together.
Yeah.
I guess that's part of why. Is that part of why Cesare kills him? Is that he's not just a threat to like?
No.
Okay.
Cesare kills him because he wants his job.
Well,
among other things.
Yeah, because he basically, Cesare is he starts off as a bishop and then becomes a cardinal, but he really wants to be a fighter. He wants to be like a soldier and lead the papal army and stuff. Yeah, I mean, things being what they're not, that's definitely all of these characters for sure. Because I mean, obviously they're all like, Cesare is supposed to be, you know, chaste and not have sex, celibate, and he's having sex all the time and stuff. But the first season 2 episode you had me watch, The Beautiful Deception, is like basically the whole episode is we're gonna do the craziest, most like life or death kind of bluff ever. Which is that was, I think, maybe my favorite episode that we watched. No, I don't know. There's a lot of the Banquet of Chestnuts also goes crazy. But
yeah, the cannons made of plaster who were made by a girl twink.
Yeah, literally, like Cesare,
who was having an affair with the Pope as well.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Crazy. Yeah, that episode, Cesare has a line that's like, is nothing in this damn city what it seems? Like, literally everything and everyone is masquerading as something else.
Also, that episode has one of my favorite moments, which I feel is incredibly camp and dramatic and huge, which is when Lucrezia tries to kill Juan via chandelier, Phantom of the Opera style, while he's having sex.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, it was already crazy that she has to listen to her brother have very loud sex after she's like pretty positive that he killed her lover and father of her child. And then, yeah, the fact that also the sex that Juan is having is like, he's like having sex with some girl being like, which of these ladies should I marry? Tell me which one you like the most, by like moaning louder. Like, yeah, then she tries to kill him with a big old chandelier. It's very badass.
But she ends up killing the girl.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like, it didn't shy away from like showing how brutal that kind of injury was, because she's like impaled on the chandelier and he's like pinned underneath her. He's like kind of hurt, but yeah. I think Lucrezia was the character I was most compelled by, honestly, because she's very like, it seems that her role is often like, it's like, okay, who are you gonna be married off to? It seems like
Yeah.
every single plot point with her, it's like, who are you gonna be married to? Because that's how she has political power, basically, as a woman in this time period. And
Yeah.
so it's very
Yeah,
interesting.
each of the kids has their like own designated role.
Yeah.
Because like Cesare is supposed to be the cloth, Juan is supposed to be the Duke, and Lucrezia is supposed to be basically diplomacy via marriage.
Yeah. So it's really interesting to me where it's like, okay, that's the role she's supposed to serve, but we like, it seems that she never is actually like she still seems to have a lot of power, and like she seems to have a lot of like expression of her own desires and stuff. Like the fact that it's like, oh, she's a mother, but it's like her child is like with the one person she actually seemed to genuinely love, who was not of royal birth. And like, okay, in this like season 3 episode we watched where she's like, okay, she's married off again to this guy, and she is turns it into a moment where she's like finally expressing her desires for Cesare. It's very, I don't know, it's very, she's very like I'm just, it's very I'm very interested in it. I'm very fascinated by the like kind of how do I put it? There is like, we see, I guess, like,
Also, I want to point out the panther that Juan got her.
oh, that was a gift from Juan? Was a panther?
Yeah, an apology gift from Spain.
That's okay, that's really cool. I just was like, wait, why is there a cat in her room in a cage?
Because that's supposed to be her pet, and like it's one of the big extravagant things about this show.
Yeah. I don't know. I just, it's interesting to see in a show that is so much about sex and power, and that, and like, you know, diplomacy, like you said, it's still like we have a female character who is expressing her desires. And part of me would think that like, oh, it's kind of, it could be frustrating that we only really see her in context of men and marriage and sex, but like everything in the show is in context of men and marriage and sex, kind of. So that she actually has a lot of, it seems that she has a lot of arcs that is expressing her own desires. And I'm sure how that kind of, that probably is a mirror to Cesare as well, in that the kind of, their father expects them to behave a certain way and make certain decisions for him in his own power, and then they kind of are like, well, what am I gonna do that I want to do? It's interesting. I don't know.
What else do we want to talk about? Because I can talk about many things, but I'm really curious about all your questions.
Let's see. I feel like we should talk more about the Banquet of Chestnuts. I mean, this is kind of like the episode that is all about the sex. And I wrote down quote, not having sex is so important until it isn't. Like the fact that's like the conflict, part of the conflict for Lucrezia in that this episode is like, okay, well, you're married now and you have to consummate the marriage. And I find that so interesting that there's like, it's like oh, you're supposed to be pure, you're supposed to be a virgin, but then as soon as you get married, you are supposed to have sex. And it's like such a big deal. We're gonna watch them do it, and then it turns into this like crazy like voyeuristic, incestuous like mix of like shame and pleasure, and she's getting off knowing that like Cesare is watching her. It's crazy. You'd sent me that clip before and I didn't really know what was going on, and now I've seen the context and I'm like, holy shit.
Imagine watching 2 whole seasons before that.
Yeah.
It's even crazier. And I do think it's really fun and funny the moment where he locks in, he like leans forward. That always makes me laugh.
Yeah.
You would put me on display for every vile, lecherous creature to fondle himself to.
We had no choice.
You weak, shameless, pitiful excuse. If I was a man, I would have run him through. I would have cut out his tongue before I let him speak about my own sister in this way.
It was for the good of the family. We had no choice.
You had every choice! Where is your honor? Where's your strength? Where's your love for me?
Would have killed him where he stood. Would have cut his heart out of his body. But I stayed my hand for the good of the family.
So the King of Naples is to watch me in bed? For the good of the family? Very well. Very well. When is it to be?
Tonight.
And from our family, who's to bear witness?
Whomever you wish.
Then I want you.
And then it's also about the kind of other little scheme. There's 2 other schemes that episode about
the
entrapping people who are having sex when they shouldn't be having sex.
Yeah, and I do think it's really interesting how the show recontextualizes the Banquet of Chestnuts.
Okay, so this is
like it was a real recorded thing, allegedly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know
allegedly
this history.
The Pope was also there, and allegedly Cesare was the one who organized it, and Lucrezia was also there.
Oh, whoa.
I do think it's interesting how the show is like, actually, this is a blackmail tactic to make sure that all the cardinals stay loyal to Rodrigo.
Yeah.
And I love the moment where Julia goes to her brother and she's like, do not come to school tomorrow.
Yeah. So to give more context, at least in this episode of the TV show, it's basically they have this plan to have all these cardinals, and they're also like, oh, you need to be donating money right now because we just ordered a crusade. And it's like, oh, we have all these nuns, and the nuns are like, we don't have any money. And it's like, well, you have the clothes on your back. Cardinals, will you auction off the items these nuns are wearing, and that's how you're going to be giving your money to the cause. And then turns out, oh, the nuns are actually all prostitutes and start like flaunting their sexy bodies, and then all of the cardinals are having sex with them, and there's a bunch of candied chestnuts that they are like, oh, pick up the chestnuts with your body and feed them to each other, and it just turns into one big old orgy. That's the of the stuff we watched. That's some nunsploitation right there. That's, even if I guess they're not technically nuns, but it's the eroticism.
Yeah, it has the aesthetics.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that whole episode is basically about, like, how kind of like the institutions of this of marriage, and also the institution of these religious figures, that, you know, the cardinals and the pope are bound to certain expectations of sex, you know, juxtaposing Lucrezia supposed to have sex with the cardinals are not supposed to have sex. And also then there's also, I don't know who the people were. I don't really I didn't really understand who these people who were plotting to be like, okay, we're gonna have you come on to the pope and then like ask for an annulment
this
on the case of infidelity with the pope himself.
Yeah, that was a lot of stuff set up in season 2 in the episodes you didn't watch.
Yeah.
But like the main plotter is Katerina Sforza, who is very iconic in this show, and her relationship with Cesare is really iconic to me.
Was she also the guy who was with the woman who was like fully like decked out and part of the army with that one French king?
Yes, that's her. That's
okay.
her. That's her.
She did seem
She and
kind of
Cesare are enemies and lovers.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, can you explain something else to me? What was that, like? I guess it was an insult, or it was something that like Juan was really upset about in
10 more sons.
Yeah, what does 10 more sons mean?
That's from the battle at Forlì, which is kind of this big moment in the show, where a big moment in many ways, but where he's basically going to like siege her castle, and he threatens to kill her son. And like this is also like in the historical memory where she like lifts up her skirt and she's like, do it, I can make 10 more sons.
Oh, so it's not an insult about him not being able to have children. It's like an insult that like he wasn't a good like tactician or fighter, basically.
Yeah, and Juan was also set up by Cesare, because Cesare did get intel that Katerina was gonna have more backup for that siege. And Cesare had the chance of helping out Juan, but he was like, no. And so like that's where Juan, from that failure, he's like injured and begins to spiral and do drugs, and he has syphilis. Right, knew that there was information that he withheld, and Cesare just keeps gaslighting him, like no, like what are you talking about?
Okay. Yeah, so this is the thing that's also interesting to me, is that these guys are like, it's like, oh, they're the first crime family, and they're all like supposed to be, they were all like a scourge upon Italy, but they have so much infighting.
Yeah.
They kind of like, well, at least Cesare and Lucrezia seem to hate Juan.
Yeah, season 3 definitely has a lot more gang violence. Like a lot of season 3 to me is just Cesare building his army and forming alliances and getting people killed. Like there's a moment in season 3 which I feel like is a very classic gangster moment, where he just dumps a bunch of gunpowder on a guy and lights him on fire.
Oh Jesus. Okay. Who is the guy who like seems to just kind of always by Cesare's side and like helping him like do stuff?
Oh, that's Micheletto. Micheletto, that's his assassin bestie, who is also gay. He has a boyfriend in season 3 and a situationship in season 2.
That's
I think
really
he's
fun.
more bisexual, but has a preference.
That's cool. I feel like also if we don't mention that preacher guy, Catherine will be sad. Who's the
Yeah.
guy in
That's Cardinal Della Rovere, who does eventually become the Pope. Also kind of the downfall of Cesare
yeah,
historically.
yeah.
But yeah, and he has a whole subplot in season 2, which I love, which I call microdosing subplot,
What?
where he basically, like, so you know the kid that the Pope got as a new taster?
Yeah, who like
So Della Rovere has been microdosing him with poison so he can develop a resistance to it. So that when he actually
he
poisons the
guy.
Pope, it's not, the effect is not going to show on him. So the Pope will think it's okay to drink.
That's
That's
I mean,
been poisoned.
that's amazing. That's like, I mean, it's the thing is like I do kind of love all the backstabbing and scheming. I see why also you compare it to Succession in that regard. It's not just about the families, it's about like, you know.
It's a lot like Succession, but I watched it like it was Euphoria. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why I feel like the show is camp. It's about mess, and it's very mess forward.
Yeah. Well, it's also
And
like
which is kind of why I'm kind of glad there was no season 4.
oh, did it get canceled?
Because like that's supposed to be the downfall era. Yeah.
Okay.
But I love the series finale.
Did they know they were
Yeah,
going to get canceled before they
like
wrote
knowing where this kind of I do think the series finale as it is really works as a series finale.
Okay.
To me.
Yeah.
But everything forward just feels kind of Hays coded.
Elaborate
in the sense
on
that like
that.
it really hammers home that like these people are bad. These people are bad. When like I can see that they are, but what makes the show so fun and so enjoyable is that you get to have fun with all that mess.
Yeah. I was also going to say, like, I feel like it's very, you know, an element of camp that we talk about a lot is excess. And there is such an excess of.
So much of the show is about excess.
Yeah. It's about, like, it's, you know, the idea that it's like, oh, this family, this Pope, they're corrupt and they're, you know, they got to be taken down. And the way that is visualized, yes, there's these rumors of the sexuality, but really, it's about the flaunting of the wealth. It's the constant, like, it's the fact that there's constantly these themes of like, they put so much money in these parades and these festivities, and they're draining, you know, they're taking money from the poor, and they're just like, you know, there's that guy who I don't remember the names of any of the characters, but the guy who like we see like he stole from the treasury and like returned a bunch of like deeds to people, and then he like, you know, he's basically he's trying to attack them where it hurts I think there's a line where he's like, did I hurt him the most by like going after his purse? And that to me is also very camp, that it's not just, you know, oh, we're showing you how bad these people are. We're showing you how bad they are because of how they're excessive in their how they display their wealth and the pageantry.
Yeah, and a big season 2 plot line, which you saw a part of, is the whole Father Savonarola thing, also a historical figure.
Yeah.
Where he's very much a kind of predecessor to the Reformation, in the sense that he was really calling out the materialism of the Catholic Church at the time, and like you saw the aftermath of the bonfire of the vanities.
Yeah.
Where, at least in the shows, like a lot of kids just going around telling rich people to like hand over your stuff, and then the stuff got burned.
Kind of. I mean, it's kind of dangerous. I mean, we also see they also like burn a supposed witch, like kind of maybe there's a little pyromania going on, but
Cesare loves fire. He loves fire.
is that why he has the Salvadora? What is this game? They has the guy do the trial by fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, like, it's so, like, whenever I hear about those, like, medieval or, like, Christian, like, ways to prove your faith, I'm like, well, how? That's impossible. You can't win, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna walk, like, you don't, like, what?
And
How can
that's
you
the
not burn?
logic that Cesare is using. Like, he knows that he's going to burn.
Yeah. Also, I wrote down a couple times, it's not just like that there's so much like like visuals that are associated with like this kind of the institution of the papacy and stuff. There's also just like, I love how like there's so much intricate rituals and stuff, like during that there's the intercutting with the trial by fire, there's that like excommunication that they do, and I just think it's very fun how there's like, okay, we got to do this specific thing, we have to like chant these specific words and like throw a candle on the floor. It's very fun.
Like witchcraft and stuff.
Yeah.
In the season, in the series as well.
Oh, yeah.
And like also, I need to point out the whole myth of Cesare being the current face of Jesus.
What? Wait, huh?
Which I feel is, again, very camp and kind of encompasses the camp of the Borgias in terms of being subversive religious figures.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so there's this theory that's has been debunked a lot of times, but I still think it's fun, where it's theorized that the current image of Jesus is based on the likeness of Cesare.
Oh.
But why Jesus unfortunately predates Cesare. But I do think it's really fun to picture this man as Jesus.
Okay, I was looking through my notes. I have another question of what the fuck was going on in this scene. In The Beautiful Deception, what is going on with that guy? Is it this French king? Who is it who like has a room that it's like full of corpses or like taxidermy?
I forget which province of Italy that is, but that was a big plot line and I think that family is already dead by season 2, but there was this like royal family in a province of Italy, I think, where the guy had all his enemies in like this Last Supper display. It's very Hannibal and BC vibes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And Juan has had sex in that room.
Okay. Fun. I do like the monkeys. I do like how there's multiple characters who use monkeys to test for poison.
Yes. I did notice that. I was like, oh, I gave her 2 monkey episodes in a row.
You also gave me I don't know if this is actually or was a reoccurring image in the show, but both the pilot and then The Beautiful Deception have shots where like Pope Alexander is coming up to a mirror and he's like undressing, and the mirror is like convex. I think it's like
so many distorted images in this show.
That's some good reoccurring symbolism there. I'm like, I'm into that visual. That's very fun.
Yeah, like again, the camp of the Borgias being a sort of distorted, things being what they're not, subversion of Catholicism. And I do feel like there's a lot of instant character with Cesare and Juan.
Yeah.
In terms of their costuming. Because it's much more clear, having watched the full show, that Cesare, whenever he's not wearing his cardinal robes, he's always in black.
Yeah. I kind of
Black
wish she
is
was.
his color.
I kind of wish she was dripped out more, though. Like, do I just not know?
Black is his color.
But
The
like,
one who is dripped out is Juan.
oh
He's like
yeah.
the one with the more colorful clothes, and they're more like red leaning.
Mm-hmm.
And Juan's cod pieces also have like little like dangly accessories,
Whoa.
which I think are really fun. Yes. I need to send you pictures, but yeah.
Huh? Yeah. I do. I mean, I'm not gonna say there isn't enough depictions of excessive wealth, because there's plenty, with especially with basically any kind of
It's
ceremony
the
we
whole
see.
thing, and the show was canceled because it was getting too expensive.
Oh, really? That's actually really funny. Whoa. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like Cesare. I don't know. I just thought he didn't look like he didn't have enough jewelry or something. I don't know. Maybe I
That's
just
not his thing.
yeah.
That's Juan's thing.
Yeah.
And Lucrezia's thing.
She
like
she's
iconically has a seahorse necklace in season 1, and she asked to be like done a portrait of her with like a giant seahorse.
whoa. Yeah.
There is no giant seahorse, unfortunately.
Well, I don't know. I can't really think of what else to say. I mean, I think they are all the actors are great. Jeremy Irons is a diva. I he's an icon.
Yeah.
I do think one of the funniest lines or the moments to me was in the pilot, when he's like really offended that they not that they tried to assassinate him, but that it was with poison. He's like upset that he's like, what? You don't use poison for a pope. Yeah, and I think that he's very good casting to have Jeremy Irons be this pope, because he does look like he's having such a fun time being so, wearing all these robes and being very dramatic.
Yeah. And that reminds me, one of the reasons why I wanted to discuss the show is like coming off from the context of Conclave and everyone talking about how it's camp and those are divas. And I'm like, Conclave has nothing on this show.
Yeah.
Real Mean Girls, Regina George antics.
Yeah. Yeah, I still haven't seen Conclave, but popes are messy. Cardinals
it's gonna
are
be
messy.
underwhelming.
Oh,
it's gonna be underwhelming now for you.
Yeah.
I feel like my main question for you is, what would be like your main takeaway from the show, and or if there's anything that surprised you from watching those 4 episodes?
I don't think anything really surprised me. I mean, there was way more characters to keep track of than I was expecting, but that doesn't actually really surprise me when I think about it, because it's kind of a political intrigue, very like, schemes and plots. You kind of
have maybe like what stood out to you.
Okay, what stood out to me? Honestly, the thing that I'm thinking of is thinking about how, you brought up how this kind of show relates to nunsploitation, and thinking about just that crazy sequence in Banquet of Chestnuts of Cesare watching this consummation of the marriage happen. And I don't know, I think that this show makes a very compelling case as to why the taboo is so sexy. Like, I think maybe it's just because the actors have such good chemistry, but there is something like, okay, like, yes, morally, like, biologically, incest is so gross. But I think this show makes a good case as to why it's so appealing to these characters, at the very least. Like, they cannot have each other, but they understand each other better than anyone else can. I don't think it was a line in the episode we watched, but it was in the previously on where it's like, only a Borgia can love a Borgia. And I'm like, whoa, that's,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, and it's just very camp of the show to indulge in that, I think, you know, indulging in the taboo.
Which is, again, one of the reasons why I'm kind of opposed to the final season / movie wrap up. Because, like, the show ends on such a high of villainy that I do not want to see the downfall.
Yeah.
The final episode is so good. It's the Cesare victory tour.
Yeah. So
I feel like now, like, my other question is, like, if there's anything else that you were wondering about, like, my relationship to the show, and also, like, in terms of camp.
I don't really have a question in terms of like any more talking about the camp of the show necessarily, but I would love for you to quickly like elaborate on what you said at the top of the recording about how this has had kind of crazy impacts on your life. I think I have a guess on what you're referring to, but I'd love for you to talk a little bit, like, just as a little wrap up of like how your experience, you know, what your experience with the show has meant, not necessarily in the context of camp, but for you personally.
Yes, so one of the reasons I wanted to watch Fuck Toys was because Francois, who plays Cesare, is in it. And I was like, I need to see that man on the big screen. But also I wanted to watch it for various other things. Like, I was reading Annapurna's interviews and it like really resonated with her. It really resonated with the vision of like, it's a camp movie in the style of John Waters and exploitation films. And so, like, I did go watch it, and I met Nicole in person, and I also met Annapurna. I just mainly just wanted to say, like, hi, I really liked your movie, and I hope you know that. But now we're, like, mutuals.
And she's been on the show!
Yes.
Yeah. That is kind of a lovely little cascade of impact. Well, thank you, Francois, for
thank you, Diva,
for your amazing performance and inadvertently getting Fabiola and Annapurna to be mutuals.
Yeah, and the Borgias needs so much love as a TV show.
Yeah,
it's very, like, not necessarily 4-quadrant, but in the sense that it has so much to offer that a lot of current TV doesn't. Like, it's actively trying to be fun, but also telling a good story. And yeah, it's kind of like guilty pleasure coded. But it's not, which is also part of the camp of good, bad taste.
Yeah.
And like, especially in this era of prestige television, the Borgias kind of walks the line of like soap and prestige.
Yeah.
Which I feel is really special.
Absolutely agree.
Favorite moment?
I mean, come on. What do you think? Is it Cesare watching? It's at that moment went hard.
To me, that is.
Yeah.
And also the chandelier.
Yeah, that's pretty fun too. Any parting words to our audience other than try to watch the show if you can?
I wrote a Substack piece about this show like a year ago.
Oh, I'll put it in the description.
Just basically talking about a lot of what we covered.
Yeah.
Just be like, this show is really good and more people should watch it, and yeah.
Y'all should follow Fabiola on Substack if you don't already.
Yeah. My posting there is so uneven and inconsistent.
But when you post, you go off. So, well, I love talking to you as always.
I'm glad you enjoyed the episodes.
Yeah.
Even though you were really confused at parts.
Yes, I was confused, but I had a good time, and I don't think there's other shows that I think I am currently focused on watching, but I'm gonna come back to this one. I do think I got intrigued enough. I need to see the full arcs, so I do think I'll come back to this show at some point. So
thank you to our patrons:
Ike Everard, Dominic Overman, Joshua, Marcus Gorman, Arcadia Reeves, Jose Liaño, and Pericles Caspari.
this episode was edited by Fabiola Liaño. Our theme music is by Harrison Lurie. I've been Saffron Hefta-Gaub. You can find me everywhere at Gaub Hefta.
I've been Fabiola Liaño. You can find me on Instagram at Fabiola the Gremlin and on Twitter at Fabiola_Liaño. The podcast, It's Giving Camp, on Instagram at It's Giving Camp Pod and on Twitter at Giving Camp Pod.
It really helps us out if you're able to give us a rating or review.
Be sure to support our Patreon.